Welcome to the Phoenix House Seminar Series. My name is John Gordon and I'm a National Clinical Trainer. Today, our topic is identifying triggers. At this time, your group facilitator will hand out a pamphlet that goes along with today's curriculum. The pamphlet is yours, so feel free to write on it and use it for notes. Every now and then, we will pause this video and your group facilitator will process some of the information we discussed with you. We would love to hear your thoughts on today's topic, so we want to encourage you to participate. Today's seminar will cover 3 topics: what are triggers, identifying common triggers to recovery, and signs of danger and safety. Triggers are specific memories, behaviors, thoughts, and situations that warn us of a potential relapse. Understanding your personal triggers means developing awareness of external and internal influences that could lead you to use when you least expect it. For example, certain people, places, and things you've always associated with your substance use are external triggers. Internal triggers are biochemical and also emotional in nature, such as physical withdrawals from opioids or alcohol, or recurring thoughts that motivate you to want to use again. When we use substances, the brain releases neurotransmitters like dopamine and adrenaline, which trigger our pleasure and reward center. Serotonin is another natural chemical our brain produces to help us calm down and reduce anxiety, a common treatment for depression. So, a big aspect of recovery involves examining triggers in your life that have led to addiction in the first place and have the potential to surface once you've completed treatment at Phoenix House. Triggers may vary from person to person, but many are universal. Here are some examples of external triggers, starting with people. Say an old friend you used to smoke with contacts you to hang out, or someone from your past who sells his medication reaches out to you. What if you ran into a former dealer unexpectedly? All these people would strongly associate with only one thing: substance use. Now, how about places? Imagine that your coworker organizes a celebration that just happens to be in a club where you often used. How about something as simple as your old living room couch? That place which was always your most comfortable and secure spot to use. Or driving through a neighborhood you once bought drugs in. All these places have the potential to trigger a desire to use again. Okay, now things. You come across a half a bottle of unfinished wine on a table, or an unattended drink. What if you open the medicine cabinet and you find someone's leftover pain pills? Or you walk into a clothing store and notice smoking paraphernalia is sold there as well. All these things might trigger feelings to use. Situations can also be triggering. Positive ones like celebrations, holidays, birthday parties, or sports events, or just rituals of time of the day when you always would use. Emotionally charged interactions, arguments, criticisms, upsetting news also have a way of setting off a trigger. So all these external triggers are tangible and physical, right? Some are easily avoidable, while others really require you to make strategic choices that take preventative actions so you don't expose yourself to opportunities to use. Now, let's look at examples of internal triggers, like physical senses, memories, feelings, and thoughts. Physical sensations like pain, fatigue, or panic symptoms might trigger the urge to use. Imagine you have a really bad headache, or maybe you slept poorly the night before and today you're exhausted. Would that push you towards a relapse? Triggering thoughts, all those self-defeating thoughts that you've grown accustomed to using while you used. Statements like, I can't be intimate with anyone without using, or I haven't used in a year, so I'm not addicted anymore. or concerts are no fun if I can't get high. Triggers hijack our better judgment and leave us feeling angry, fearful, and helpless. Managing powerful emotions require an honest look deep below the surface behavior to acknowledge what's really driving our decision making. To help, ask yourself some of these questions. When you used in the past, what types of feelings were present beforehand? Who was around, or were you alone? Can you recall specific situations or memories that surfaced? Your group facilitator will now press pause to guide you through this triggers and coping skills worksheet. Use this worksheet to list out your top 5 triggers and then list a plan on coping skills you'll use to deal with these triggers. Triggers are signs that we are headed in the right direction or the wrong direction. The stuff that irritates us in recovery or takes us from 0 to 60 in a flash are exactly the type of signs to pay close attention to. You won't adopt the same relapse prevention plan as the person sitting next to you, since we are all triggered by specific things. For example, someone in this room may draw a great deal of hope, inspiration, and motivation from music and consider it a coping strategy to help them focus and maintain calm. But maybe you've learned that music triggers intense memories of party life, clubs, substance use from your past. So, music is a strong sign for both of you, but has 2 completely different meanings. Therefore, your relapse prevention plan will look different. So we're not only identifying triggers here, both positive and negative, but exploring the significance and meaning those triggers hold for you. Think of it as simply knowing the signs of danger and signs of safety. Now, it's equally important for us to learn signs of safety. What triggers or signs lets you know that you are headed in the right direction? Defining what safety means to you is a process, and a big part of that process is highlighting any patterns that lead to success for you. For example, some people have always known that being in large crowds with lots of yelling shocks them. They have noticed that they behave differently in that crowd. Maybe they retreat or withdraw. In recovery, it's important to dig deeper and understand the meaning behind that sign. Eventually, you'll learn that relationships with people who yell tend to keep you scrambled and defenseless and subject to relapse, whereas relationships with people who are sensitive to their volume and tone tend to be more supportive towards your recovery. This detail seems minimal, but I assure you it can be the difference between success or failure. The group facilitator will now pause this video and process the Seeking Safety worksheet entitled Signs of Danger versus Safety. Use this worksheet to checkmark signs that you are in a dangerous place and dealing with a relapse trigger, and also checkmark signs of safety that you are leading towards success. With that, we conclude our seminar on identifying triggers. We discussed what triggers are, we identified common triggers in recovery, and we worked to identify our personal signs of danger versus signs of safety. Thank you for listening to today's seminar and for your active participation. We want to encourage you to discuss any relevant information with your individual and group counselor. We are here to help. Be well.